Well, Adib, thanks so much. Security and safety is important to everyone.
Exactly.
But you seem to have mastered this and using digital technology to bring safety to businesses and individuals who are conscious of keeping their property and themselves safe. How have you managed to use technology to achieve this?
Well, there are a lot of Ghanaians who keep wondering, if my vehicle is snatched, what do I do? And business owners who have fleets of vehicles with drivers coming home or coming to the office every single day and giving all sorts of stories. So you can imagine if someone has a tipper truck that has to go to the riverside to fetch sand, and he tells you he went once when he went 4 times or perhaps 5 times, how do you know? So we decided to come out with the tracking devices that would not only make you know the location of a vehicle at any point in time 24/7, but you are also able to tell whether the car is moving or not. If it is moving, you can tell the speed at which it is traveling. And the most intriguing part about all of these is the fact that you are able to play back as far back as 7 months ago.
Wow.
Okay, so if perhaps on October 3rd, you want to know where the vehicle has been to, you can play back in an animated fashion. Okay, it will tell you everywhere the car has been, the speed it traveled, where it parked, because you can even engineer or develop what we call parking reports. So anywhere, so if you are dealing with delivery, wherever the vehicle parked, you can develop a report in that regard. In case of an emergency, sometimes you have criminals snatching your vehicle, you don't know what you do. You can shut down the engine of the vehicle from your phone. But assuming they snatch your car with your phone in it, what do? Any device, any electronic device with internet functionality, you can quickly go to our website and log in with the same user credentials like the phone application. Then you can track the car and you can shut down the engine.
Wow.
And we have advanced trackers that comes with the panic buttons. So if you are in a state of distress, you tap on the panic button, it would send some numbers you have assigned to the tracker, panic information about your whereabouts and the fact that you need help. It will not stop until you go back to the system and ask it to stop. Okay, and we have others that comes with microphone with being embedded in the tracker.
Okay.
So you are able to listen to conversations in the car. So it comes with endless functionalities that would virtually have your eyes on the car 24/7, even if you are outside of the country. But the good thing about the tracking device is the fact that any part of the country you can track it, whether there's internet connectivity or not. So the internet connectivity only makes the car appear live on the app or the PC.
Okay.
However, if there's no internet connectivity, it uses what we call location-based services. So where there are cell sites, it's able to tap. So with a call to the app, to the tracker, you can get information about the vehicle. With a text message command to the tracker, you can get information about the vehicle.
Fantastic stuff. Now, it's evident that this would be super useful for businesses, and it brings about a lot of efficiency in the way people work. I mean, where there's transparency, there's efficiency.
Exactly.
So for motorbikes, people who have courier and delivery services, how can this, bring efficiency to the way they work?
Well, the sad thing is a lot of us are not very security conscious. We are so reactive to issues of security rather than being proactive. It would interest you to know that over 80% of my clients who are into courier services come around when their bike has been stolen, and some don't really care about the efficiency, but they don't know how much money they are losing, because he goes for like 5 kilometers and tells you there's no fuel. With a tracker, you're able to keep tab on the movements and perhaps even the fuel consumption. Okay, just about a week ago, a lady friend of mine who wanted a tracker on her bike, she was so adamant. We had to convince her to install one, who intended starting the courier service the following day. So I asked that, no, you cannot risk it. Just get a tracker on it. And we installed the tracker. Even payment was a bit of a challenge for her. And interestingly, should I believe it or not, the bike was stolen on its maiden trip.
Wow.
So she called me. She's not in Accra. She called me, what do we do? What do we do? Usually, the client has the capacity to go look for the vehicle, but we are also able to step in if she can't or he can't. And considering the fact that she wasn't in town, we had to step in, and we followed up and realized the bike was somewhere around Laboni. So I got to the address, I placed the address under a little surveillance. I called the police number 18555, and interestingly, within minutes, the police were at the scene. Because I didn't have the capacity to go in, we went in there with the police, and the tracker doesn't just tell you the address the vehicle is. Even if it is in the bedroom, you would know, pinpoint accuracy. Okay. So we were able to tell that it's at the back of the boys' quarters, and when we got there, we had one of the thieves, the suspects, with a screwdriver in hand, breaking the car, the motorbike into pieces. So usually, that's what they do. When they steal your car, they will drive it to the nearest garage and they would disintegrate it.
So they just strip it so
they
will strip it
and sell it in bits, you know. And the unfortunate thing is the client also made her rider know there's a tracker on it. Usually we don't allow that because you compromise the security of the. In fact, you defeat the very purpose
for which you put the tracker on there. Yeah.
You don't let people know. And the unique thing about ours is we differ every single occasion where we place the tracker. So today it might be here, tomorrow it might be there. And we prescribe that you never let anyone know, even the driver. And usually we don't even make the client know unless you insist. Because a criminal can pretend to be a client just to know where we install. And we place it so remotely such that you would need specialized equipment or tools to be able to get there. So by the time you get there, the owner of the vehicle should have been able to tell. Not long ago, we had a similar case of an Uber car stolen. And when we checked, it was speeding towards Aflau.
Wow.
They were going to Togo to sell the vehicle. So instead of shutting down the engine, because they can get frustrated and perhaps ransack the car, we decided to call the nearest police, station. And it was at a town called Akachabo. So when we called them, they were at the checkpoint waiting for the vehicle. So I told them in 1 hour to get to them, in 45 minutes, in 30 minutes. At the very minute I said the car would get to them, it got to them and they arrested them. The guys were shocked. They thought they had a free vehicle to go sell and make some money. So GPS tracking is extremely important.
Wonderful. Well, I think that final question would be, you talked about someone having challenges paying. It sounds like it's expensive.
Well, it's not because, for instance, we're able to retrieve a motorbike using a 400 Ghana cedis device. How much is a Boxer motorbike? Brand new. It's about 7,000. And now that prices of goods and services is going up, it might get to 8,000. So for motorbikes, it's 400 cedis with installation. For saloon cars, it's 600. For four-wheel drives, and the trotros is 800. And for heavy-duty machinery like caterpillars, loaders, etc., it's 1,000 cedis. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's a fraction of the actual cost of the property you want to secure.
It's so negligible.
Yes.
And you don't have to wait to be a victim before realizing the need for a tracker. So apart from the security bit, the accountability bit of it is extremely key. So if you run a business where the drivers would go pick their girlfriends and their children from school rather than official duties, you are able to tell, and you can generate all sorts of reports, mileage reports, fuel consumption reports, parking reports, historical playback, and authorized usage, to the extent that the head of transport can have access to SMS alerts. Anytime the vehicle is started, you receive an SMS that this vehicle has started work. When it moves to an area you have not authorized, that's what we call geofencing. For instance, you run a trotro, you don't want the trotro to go beyond pig farm circle route. But sometimes they're able to get dropped to Kumasi, Koforidua. So you can geofence Newtown pig farm or pig farm through Newtown to circle. So, and anytime it deviates, outside, you get alerts.
Thank you very much, Adib, for sharing insights into how GPS tracking works. I like the fact that it can bring a lot of data that businesses can mine for effective decision making. And I wish you all the best. Thank you for welcoming us into Jatikay. And we look forward to telling more stories like this and how digital technology can impact on not just safety and security, but also transparency, accountability, and efficiency for businesses. And thank you for watching this episode of Business Connect. My name is Inshirado. We'll be back with more next week when we come your way with another episode of your insightful and inspirational show called Business Connect. Until then, be safe out there.